Gary, as you look back and had a short time to reflect on this season, what kind of were your biggest takeaways of the year?
I would just say, thankful to get through another year. Another year in the playoffs. Good to play playoff basketball here in Orlando, 2 years in a row. We dealt with a lot of adversity, ups and downs, injuries, but we stayed the course. Obviously didn't end it how we wanted to end, but still have a lot to be proud of this past season, a lot to build on going into the off season, and looking forward to see what next year holds.
How do you evaluate your own season on the individual level?
I would say it was a different role for me, just you know having less of a role, being more of like the mentor role, but then being able to ups and downs, injuries, playing, being able to have spot minutes here and there, but then able to get more consistent minutes here at the end of the season. But just try to do whatever I can to help to impact the team, and do whatever the coaches needed me.
With this team, obviously shooting was a kind of a team-wide issue. What do you feel like was sort of the block on the shooting? Because we know what you're capable of doing, like whatever a lot of things. Victory.
I would say, I think it's an issue that I think it got resolved at times. Just going back and looking at the film and just looking at the different play styles and ways for us to get more shots and get the shots where people are comfortable and having a good flow to get the actual amount of shots up. So I wouldn't say it was much of a shooting issue when you don't. It's definitely a shooting issue, but when you don't have that many chances and that many shots, it can be tough for shooters to catch a rhythm, for sure.
What does the summer look like for you?
For me, just finished on my 11th year, get some rest, spend a lot of time with my family, spend time with the kids, stay in the gym working out, and, working towards year 12.
I think that at least as far as I understand, there's some contract uncertainty this summer. How do you go into the summer with a little bit of contract uncertainty, and you hope to be back if match?
I love my time. I love Orlando, love the city. My kids love it here. It's been great to be a part of what we've been building here in this city. But you know how the league is. There's a lot of uncertainty. You never know what's going to happen. So all I can do is control what I can. Continue to put the work in. Stay ready for whatever the future may hold. But I definitely love my time here in Orlando. So we'll see. If it continues.
Jeff made some comments that he said that this team is ready to shift into a win now mentality. For somebody that came in on the precipice of a rebuild and has seen this team build year over year to this point now, what do you make of that, and what does that look like for this organization?
Exactly as it should be. Being able to, team that wasn't making the playoffs the past 2 years. You just lost to the defending champs. Nobody likes losing, so I understand. We want to get over that hump, and we made it to the playoffs. We made progress, but we want to make that next step. We want to go to the next round. Want to eventually bring a championship here to Orlando, and however that may look, that's their job to figure that out. What makes the team look best, and I'm sure they'll do that.
Gary, you've seen stars develop in this league, so you have an interesting perspective on it. With Powell and Franz getting a chance to go up against, Tatum and Brown, two guys, a number of years ahead of them in their development, what can it do for two guys like that to go up against the defending champs and let's see, that kind of basketball in a playoff series?
I just think it's huge, especially for them to see it at a young age. You could look at the career of, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. They've been going at it for a while too. They've had a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows. They fell short a few times, many a times, before they finally won a championship. So just being able to, see that in front of them and see that they've actually done it and see what they've been through and being able to compete at the highest level. We have two great competitors over here, and they didn't back down the whole series. And, that's definitely what this team needs of them. And, they're going to continue to do that moving forward, for sure.